What in the world? Y'all, that happened at the Sarah Jakes Evolve conference. That is her mother, First Lady Jakes, leading the women in boots on the ground. And no, it may not be inside a church. We've already seen that video of a church, women doing the inside the sanctuary. But this is still supposed to be a Christian place. And I'm gonna just read you what the Bible say, okay? Because you already know that that's wrong, right? So 1 John 2:15-17. Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world is the lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. It is not of the Father, but it is of the world.
Everyone's talking about Woman Evolve, but what really went down? On the surface, it looked like a groundbreaking move of God. Tears, testimonies, and transformation. But underneath the lights, the music, and the carefully framed camera angles, a deeper question lingers. Was this a genuine spiritual evolution or a masterclass in performance art? Today, we're pulling back the curtain, not to tear down, but to think deeper about what authenticity and faith really looks like. So let's start with the obvious, the hype. Woman Evolve isn't just another church conference. It's marketed as a movement. Sarah Jakes Roberts has positioned it as the place where women can break cycles, find healing, and redefine their spiritual journeys. The branding is slick, the lineup is star-studded, and social media makes sure you feel like you're missing out if you're not in the room. But here's the thing. When expectations are set sky high, the reality is almost always messy. Social media painted it as life-changing. But if you look closer, you'll notice mixed reactions. Some women left feeling truly empowered, while others questioned whether the atmosphere was more about emotional highs than lasting transformation. And this is where the tension begins, between what's promised and what actually plays out. To be fair, there were moments that felt undeniably real. Vulnerable testimonies where women laid their struggles bare. Moments of worship where the room seemed to breathe as one. Countless women online testified about breakthroughs, about healing, about finally seeing themselves as worthy in God's eyes. And let's not dismiss that. There's something powerful about gathering with people who share your struggles and your hopes. That sense of sisterhood, the tears, the hugs, the spontaneous prayers, those moments can't be fabricated. They remind us that God does move in community, even when the setting is polished and packaged. These were the bright spots, the moments where authenticity broke through the stage lights. But then, there's the other side. Let's talk about the performance. Some clips circulating online raised eyebrows, not because the words weren't powerful, but because the delivery seemed too polished, almost rehearsed. Here's the question. When does vulnerability cross the line into performance? Was that breakdown on stage an authentic spiritual encounter? Or was it an intentional part of the narrative? And I'm not saying Sarah or her team staged emotions, but I am saying that in large-scale, high-production spiritual events, there's an unspoken pressure to deliver a moment. This is where many critics jump in. Modern Christianity sometimes confuses emotional reaction with spiritual transformation. And let's be honest, how much of what we saw was raw faith and how much was branding strategy? Because whether we like it or not, Woman Evolve is not just ministry, it's also a business. And business has an image to maintain. And here's the nuance we can't ignore. The landscape of faith gatherings is evolving. Conferences are no longer just church services, they're events, marketed with the same strategies as concerts or TED Talks. Storytelling is intentional. Stage lighting is intentional. Even the way moments are clipped and shared on Instagram is intentional. But does intentional mean manipulative? Not necessarily. There's a fine line between creating an environment for transformation and crafting a narrative that looks like transformation. And this is where the responsibility falls, on both leaders and attendees. Leaders must steward authenticity, resisting the temptation to prioritize aesthetics over spirit. And attendees, we have to guard ourselves from consuming spirituality the same way we consume entertainment. So, what do we do with all this? Here's the takeaway. Conferences, like Woman Evolve, can be powerful, but they're not the end all be all of your spiritual journey. If you attend, celebrate the moments that feel real, but also think critically about what's performance. Don't confuse the feeling of transformation with the hard, often quiet work of true transformation. At the end of the day, your spirit doesn't evolve because you went to a conference. It evolves when you daily choose authenticity in your walk with God. That means discernment. That means grace. And that means not being swayed by polished images, but rooting yourself in truth. So let me leave you with this question. Do you think large spiritual gatherings like Woman Evolve still have the power to produce authentic encounters with God? Or have they become more performance driven than spirit driven? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this isn't just about one event. It's about the future of the modern church and where our faith is heading.